Hello and welcome to my third video of this series where we create custom components with AlpineJs and TailwindCSS. In today's video we will create a custom model component and this is how it looks like. As you can see, we have nice animations here on the background layer and on the model itself. Let's get started. There we go, I've opened up VS Code and we have our two folders here as always, the final and the starter one. And if you'd like to code along, use this here and we will do that here as well. So let's open it and check what we have here. As you can see, I've added some comments here. First, let's start with our dependencies, which are AlpineJs and TailwindCSS, and you can simply find them on their website. Just go to it, visit this installation tab and copy this script here from AlpineJs and the same from TailwindCSS. Just go to the installation tab and check display CDN and copy this script tag here, which is for development only. Back to our file, let's open first the file with a Live-Server, and that is an extension I've installed here. Simply go to the extensions tab, search for Live-Server and install this first one here, which is from Ritwig. So what else do we have here? We have these two titles here, as you can see, this h1 and this h2 tag, and you can simply ignore them for this tutorial here. Our component will live inside this div here, which is empty now. And let's first check what we need here for the HTML structure. For that, we will open our file one and check what we have here. So we have this button here, and whenever we click on it, you can see that we have this background overlay and the model itself. And therefore, we have three main things: this button, background, and the model. Let's build them out first. Let's first start with the overlay, and for that we will use another div here. You can simply use a dot and attach your classes here, and this emit extension here will handle the rest for you. Let's give it a background of black, a background opacity of 75%, position of fixed, top of 0 and left of 0, full width and the full height, and the z-index of 10. Let's hit tab and save, and there we go. Now you simply could put your model content between this overlay tag here, but we won't do that because later on we want to use different animations, one on the overlay and one on the model itself, and therefore I'd like to keep it clean here and separate the HTML as well. Let's now build our model component, and we will use another div here and attach some classes, a position of fixed and left of 50% by saying 1/2 here. The same for a top of 50%, 1/2, and we want to translate it by 50% back on both axes, on the y and on the x-axis. For that you say dash translate dash x dash 1/2. And the same for the y-axis, dash y dash 1/2. And let's give it a background of gray 900. Let's give it a border color of amber 200. Let's say it should be rounded, medium. The color should be white. And it should have a padding of 6 and a z-index of 20. Let's hit save. And this looks good to me. Let's add some content here. Let's use a paragraph and some lorem ipsum text. Hit save. And let's adjust the text size a bit and the padding as well. Let's say we want the text of extra small, and on the medium breakpoint we want the text of medium. And the same for the padding. We want the padding of 4, and on the medium breakpoint we want a padding of 6. Set save. Nice. And let's add this button here for closing the model. Let's go here, use the button, add some classes. The classes will be text white, a border amber 200, padding on the x-axis of 4, y-axis 2, rounded medium as well. And let's hit save first, add some text. Let's say close model here, hit save. And we want this nice hover effect, and for that you can use hover : and then the classes you want to define here. And we want another background here, so we want to use this Amber 200 as the background, and when we hover we want the text of black, and that should do it. Let's check it. Nice. And in order to have this nice transition, we will use this transition class here, transition, and we want to have the button on the right, so we say margin left auto, and let's add some margin to the top, margin top 6, hit save. And we have to use a display of block here so that it applies this margin auto left. This looks good to me. And now the button which opens the model is missing, and let's add it down below this model here, which is this div here. Let's use the button here as well. Let's say close model, and let's copy some styles from the other button here. Let's copy all first, attach them here, hit save, and there we go. It is behind, but we don't want a margin of left auto here, and we don't want a margin of top, so we remove them. And to center this button, we go to our root component here, and we attach some classes. We want to display our flags and to justify content of center here. Now it should be in the middle. Okay, so far we've built out our HTML, and in order to have some reactivity, we will now use AlpineJS. And as always, we have first to define our data on our root component, which is this one here, by passing this attribute here, xData, and an object which holds all our properties, and we will only need one property here, which we will call isOpen, and we will set it to false initially. Let's now use it first to hide our stuff out, and we will first hide our overlay here by simply using this xShow directive and passing our isOpen to it. Hit save, and it is gone. Let's do that on our model itself as well, and there we go. Let's now use this button here to toggle our model, and for that we will use another directive which is called x-on, and we want a click handler here, so we say :click, and we want to run this here isOpen equals true by clicking on it. So let's check it, and this works well. Let's attach another click handler on this close button here. Let's copy it, add it here, and change that to false. Let's save, let's try it out, and it works well. Let's next say we want to close it whenever we click on this overlay here, and for that we will do the same. Let's copy this, go to this overlay, add this click handler here, hit save, and let's test it. It works well. Let's say we want to close it when we hit the escape button as well. Let's do that on our root component right after our xData attribute, and we say x-on keyup.esc. And if you want to use a shorthand here, you can omit this x-on colon here and use the @ symbol. And let's say we want to check first if isOpen is true, and whenever it is open we want to set it to false, and if not we don't want to do anything. Let's hit save, let's check if it works. Let's open it, let's hit the escape button, and it works well. Let's hit the escape button while it is closed, and nothing happens. That's fine. And now let's add some nice transitions. Let's first visit the docs, go to this directives section here, and check this X transition. And here it says that there are two primary ways to handle transitions, and we will go with the second approach, which is applying CSS classes. And here, as you can see, we have a lot of stuff first, and these are simply all the stages that are available while the transition happens. And here's a description for each of them, and I'd recommend to go over them. But for now, I'll copy all of them and attach them first to our background overlay, which is this div here, and hit save and check what changed here. And as you can see, it has a nice scale transition and opacity transition. Let's first remove this scale transition here because I don't want it here. We can remove this as well. Hit save again, check it, looks good. Let's change the duration to 200 here. Recheck it, looks good. Let's add the same animation to our model, this div here. Paste it, save, check it, looks good to me. Let's now change our animations. Let's add some scaling to this one here so that it starts with a scale of 75% here and ends with a scale of 1. So we have to say scale 100, and it should leave with a scale of 100, start with a scale of 100 and end with 75. Hit save, check it. Looks good. It scales up and it scales down when it leaves. Now I'd like to have a delay so that one animation waits for the other one to finish, and for that we can use delay classes here, and we simply have to say that we want to start with a delay of 200 here. Because this one has a duration of 200, we specify a delay of 200 here. I hit save and test it. Looks good. And we want to have a delay of 200 when the leaving starts. Let's check it, and it looks good. And for demonstration, let's change the length. Let's say 500 here. And the delay of 500, because this has to wait for this to finish. Let's check it. And this does not work. Let me check why. Oh, yeah. We have to put these classes on the ender and this here on the leaf itself. Let's recheck it. And now it works. Yeah, much better. Nice. Yeah, and that's basically it. I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and see you then.